Good day everyone. In this video, I'm going to show you an easy strategy you can trade on volatility 75 on ThinkMarkets. Let's get straight to the video. All right, everyone. So in this video, we have a really simple strategy that we are going to follow. I've done it in the previous video as well, where I explained the strategy with a few examples. So what we want to wait for, if this is the market, we want to identify the highs and the lows. As soon as we identify the highs and the lows, we want to draw our fib from for example, from the low to the high. We want to identify our golden zone. That's going to be the 50% until the 78% as well. We want to wait for price to enter our zone. Then we want to go down to the lower time frame and we want to enter exactly what happened here, but on the lower time frame. So what we wait for on the lower time frame is going to be, we want to wait for a liquidity sweep. We want to wait for a market structure shift. We want to enter from a POI, for example, order blocks, fair value gaps, inverse fair value gaps, breaker blocks, etc. And then you want to target the next level of liquidity that's going to be on the higher time frame. Really straightforward, that simple. So with no further ado, let's get straight to the chart and I'll show you some examples. So we are currently here on volatility 75 on ThinkMarkets right over here. So if we look at the most recent piece of price action, so we have our low, high, low, high. Then we made a low, high, low. We broke the high. So then again, high, low, high. And then now we're waiting for a new high to form or a new low to form right over here. Let's look at this piece of price action. So if we mark out this low, this high, we want to take our fib from this low to this high. We want to draw it out. As you can see, it's in the 50% and the 78.6. Then we are going to draw out our box. So we can actually delete the fib as soon as we have our box. So as you can see, price came into our zone. So what's inside of this 1 hour zone right over here? We have a 1 hour order block resting right over here as well. So this is what we can identify on the 1 hour. So let's go down to the 5 minute. So you can basically go down time frame for time frame and start identifying, and you can start refining a little bit as well. So we have an order block for the 1 hour. This is a 30-minute fair value gap that's overlapping with that 1 hour order block. As you can see, we have lows that's being created here. We have a nice order block zone right over here. Let's go down to the 15 minutes. So price is coming down. Let's say, for example, this wasn't here. So price pushed up. We created all of this. Here you can refine it again a little bit. Price had a small reaction on the 15 minute from this order block right over here. We didn't break any highs. Price pushed down and disrespected this one, so we can delete this one. And then again, we have that 30-minute fair value gap. There's inside of an hour order block right over here. So now let's go down to the 5 minute and refine it even more. These charts of ThinkMarkets is extremely clean if you look at this price action right over here. All right, so these are our zones. Let's just delete the 1 hour one just to make it a little bit more cleaner. So price pushed down into the zones right over here. And what can we identify? So price is inside of our zones. We currently took out this low. We currently took out this lows as well. As you can see, it's equal lows right over here. If you are a support and resistance trader, you can clearly see this became support, resistance, and it tapped, and here we are again. So there's a bunch of ways you can look at this market right over here. So liquidity is taken, we are inside of our zone, right? So where was the last high that created this low? So this one has two entries, right? So I will go over the both of them, and then you can go back test and see which one suits your trading style the best. So if you are more conservative, you can wait for this high to be broken, okay? As soon as this high is broken right over here, we want to identify the lows and the highs. You can draw your fib from right over there to there. And as you can see, we are currently inside of a zone again that's also overlapping with order blocks and a nice fair value gap right over there. You can enter your trade right over here, and then you can target the next level of liquidity. In this case, it's going to be this high right over here on the 1 hour. And then as you can see, you entered right over here and price went straight to the TP. Alternatively, if you want to enter a little bit more aggressively, price tapped into our zone. We had a fair value gap here that got disrespected. Inverse fair value gap, we had a high that's been taken right over here. Of course, it's a fractal high. Candle on the left is lower, candle on the right is lower. We have an inverse fair value gap. We have a fair value gap, and we have a nice big order block zone right over there. So there's a bunch of confluences right over here. Enter your trade right over there. A little bit of a nicer entry right over here, a little bit closer to the higher time frame POI. And then you can target the same level, and there you go to your trade. Nice and easy like that. So these are the steps literally that I look for. We wait for a higher time frame POI to enter. We go to the lower time frame after we draw our fib because we want to identify the zone for price to come into. After we enter the zone, we go down to the lower time frame. Then there's a few steps that you want to wait for. You want to wait for a liquidity sweep. You want to wait for a break of structure or market structure. You want to draw your fib, get a nice small zone again, or you can wait for some sort of POI to form like a fair value gap, breaker block, order block, inverse fair value gap, and so forth. And that's how you enter. Then this is on the 5 minute, and as you can see, nice and clean price action. So let's go back to the 1 hour. Currently, price is right over here. We took out these highs. We sweeped a little bit. So what I'm waiting for now, if I follow the rules of this strategy, I would draw my fib from this low to this high, the highest point right over there. I want to draw out the zone. As you can see, we almost inside of the zone. There's actually nice liquidity that's being created right over there. Nice liquidity that's being created right over there. And then on the lower time frame, we want to wait then for something like this to happen. We took the liquidity, market structure shift, draw our fib, price enter from our zone, and then we want to target this high right over there. Or price can take out this low right over here, and price can do something like this. If we take out this low, price can come down. We draw our fib then from this high to this low. We want to identify our zone, and then we want to wait for the same thing, lower time frame, and then we're going to target the low right over here. So currently there's two possibilities that I'm looking for on Volatility 75 on ThinkMarkets. Go test it out for yourself. All right, everyone. So I hope this video helped. Go test out the strategy for yourself. Go check out ThinkMarkets. Their synthetic pairs are amazing, actually, respecting and so forth. Go check out ThinkMarkets. Link is down in the description. Please leave a like and subscribe, and then I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.